Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Birds at the Rodeo. I'm Eric, your resident Eagles fan.
I'm Orlando, the resident Cowboys fan.
And again, like I said, welcome back, man. It's been a little bit of a break.
We
let the offseason kind of take its shape and run its course. We let the draft come and go. And now we are back to, one, discuss the offseason of our teams and the NFL offseason in general. Two, give our draft class their prospective grades. Talk about how we feel about them, who our favorite picks are, things of that nature. But before we start off with that, I gotta ask you, man. You know, the resident Lakers fan in the room, y'all season came to an end last night. How are you feeling?
Well, I did not see losing in 5 for sure.
Okay.
I definitely thought that the Timberwolves were a tough matchup.
Yes.
They're a very big team. Without having a center, Austin Reeves is a pretty small guard.
Yeah.
And Anthony Edwards was just amazing throughout the entire series.
Right.
And going into Game 4, I think the game plan going into all the games, I think the game plan defensively was wrong. I think what they should have done. I don't understand how. And I know based on this last game, you would have thought if you just kind of like looked at the box score, you'd have thought that this game plan would have never worked. Was blown up that way. But I was mind blown about how Rudy Gobert was able to play entire basketball games, taking 2 to 3 field goals, scoring one to play. The Lakers were playing 5-on-4 defensively and still couldn't get stops.
Right.
I didn't understand that. And then in Game 5, Rudy Gobert obviously did have a career night.
Yes.
But a lot of that wasn't from him taking regular first attempt offensive shots, them feeding him down low in the post, and he was getting a lot of offensive rebounds. Right. And his block shots is where he just had a monster game all over. But they still weren't making him force him to take the first shot. Right. Obviously, he's fine cleaning up the glass, and he's 7 foot tall. Obviously, he can do that. Right. But in terms of regular, actual post moves and scoring on his own, he does not show the capability of doing that. And I just don't understand how there wasn't a way to force the ball into his hands. The same way on defense, you can't hide somebody defensively. We're gonna screen until he comes and plays some defense. Luka, they did it all game.
And Minnesota was doing it with Luka too.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They did it with Luka, and so offensively, there's got to be a way to combat that. You can't just let a guy stand off in the short corner, and just do nothing, and not be a single threat. It blows my mind because we have guys like that. Jared Vanderbilt is not a threat offensively.
Did he play last night?
He did. He plays. I don't
sparingly,
understand.
Right? He doesn't get consistent minutes.
He did in the regular season. That was another thing. JJ, as much as I definitely gave him credit for winning 50 games in his first season, gaining the 3rd seed, he did not.
He didn't
do the best job.
No.
He did not do his best job of coaching in that series. Right. I think he was, I don't want to say desperate. It seemed like
I would use the word stubborn more than desperate.
Yes, that's a perfect word. I feel like he gets angry.
Yes,
and
he doesn't want to be wrong.
Yes, right. He doesn't care what's doing. I think it was Game 4
where you played everybody this whole second half.
The entire second half.
Yep, all the starters the entire second half.
That's not a good decision.
No,
that's not a decision a good coach makes.
Right. A rational coach makes.
Right. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but good coaches don't make that decision.
I think he needs to. I need to see more from him. I tweeted it last night. I was like, JJ Redick must have woke up this morning and said, "I want Rudy Gobert to have a career night." I mean, the fact of the matter is, Rudy Gobert had a career game because he was the only center on the floor. That's literally it.
Even when Dorian Finney-Smith fouled out,
right?
he subbed in Alex Lynn. So I don't know what Jackson Hayes did
or didn't do
to deserve not even a chance he's the tallest player on the team.
You're not playing Jackson Hayes. You're not even going small ball 5 with Jared Vanderbilt. You're not even playing. And granted, I know he's kind of been weird since the whole trade rescinded thing and everything. But Dalton Knecht, before they traded him, he was balling for them.
I definitely think he deserves some minutes.
Right.
And Jared Vanderbilt, even when he played, he wasn't even given the defensive assignment to guard Ant for the majority of the minutes he got. So I don't really know what JJ's game plan was.
He seemed like
there.
he was all over the place.
Yeah.
First playoff series, as a coach and all that. And the reality of the situation is the Lakers. I'll be honest. I didn't expect the Lakers to make a run this year just because Luka is so new to the team, and the team is not greatly constructed. Right? They don't have a center. Right? And me personally, I'm a firm believer. I don't agree with the notion that in the playoffs your bench gets smaller or the number of your rotation gets smaller. I don't agree with that. To me, you need to find a good 9-10 guys you can play. Because Tom Thibodeau, I don't know. Right now the Knicks are still playing the Pistons right now. We'll see. If the Knicks survive and advance, they're going to get bounced by the Celtics. But Tom Thibodeau, we've seen it. This philosophy doesn't work.
Right.
If you only have 5-6 guys you feel like you can play, you're gonna run them dry.
For sure.
Right. And if you're the Lakers with LeBron James, he's 40 years old, man. He can't be out here playing 48 minutes a night. He just can't do it. He just can't do it.
I think that, and as the resident LeBron fan, actually, I think that he definitely.
What was it? Game 4, he was like he didn't score in the fourth quarter at all. He was gassed.
Yeah, but he that's the thing, to not score in the fourth quarter, but still have, I think it was 28, almost 30 points that game.
Yeah,
he was. That's the thing. He is gassed, and I think I saw I don't know who it was, but someone basically said that it's almost kind of poetic that the exact thing that Anthony Davis was pounding the table for, demanding get me a center, was the exact reason the Lakers ended up losing.
Dude,
in the playoffs.
You traded away Anthony Davis, right? You traded away the one center, your true center you had, and then because he wanted one, right? They wanted one more so he could play the 4.
Right.
You trade him away, and now you need you need a 4, you need a 5, you need a backup 5. You need more. And then we're not gonna get deep into the whole trade thing. Everybody's talking about is this vindication for Dallas now and everything? And I'm
I disagree with that.
Yeah, no, stop. Whether you look at it short term or long term, man, the Mavericks lost. The only way the Mavericks can win this is if they run off a championship next year. That's it. That's it.
Right.
That's it. And I don't anticipate that happening at all. So, man, the Lakers, they definitely got some soul searching to do. JJ Redick, I don't even know who, because he had some former head coaches on his coaching staff, right? I think he had Scott Brooks, right?
Yeah, Scott Brooks was definitely on the coaching staff.
It just seems like he might be tuning those guys out, or whatever the case may be. Because, I know you. Did you see he walked out of the pregame presser because he was upset at the media and everything, asking about are you listening to your assistant coaches? Do you talk to them about rotations?
Right.
Dude, it's okay. You got those guys there for a reason. They're there to help you. They're there to advise you because they've been in that situation before. And I've never believed in the playoffs your rotation gets smaller. I don't get that. I don't agree with that. To me, I need to find 9-10 guys I feel like I can play comfortably, right? Because it's the playoffs. You need guys to be able to play,
right?
Because your starter's going to need rest. So man, it's back to the drawing board for the Lakers. Got to go get a big man.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that can make next season be different is roster building. We need to construct a better team.
Right.
I think that JJ has proved he's a capable coach in the regular season. I think with a better constructed roster, he would have been able to do a better job in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's kind of what kind of sets coaches apart.
Yeah,
being able to do things without the best roster constructed. So,
right, and
but at the same time, it's why it's an all-encompassing thing.
Yeah,
you do need a better. He did need a better team constructed. Yeah. While at the same time, he could have been better.
Poor coaching decisions. But two things can be right.
Right.
But yeah, all right. That's enough NBA talk, man. Let's get into it. The draft. We're fresh off the draft. A week after it happened. Let's go ahead and just get this out of the way. I'm not gonna say no. Actually, I'll say I don't really care one way or the other about the whole Shador thing. Like, I mean, I don't know if you saw. I mean, if you saw all the reports coming out and everything, like he did horrible in the interviews. He didn't care. He didn't show prepared.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel very strongly about
Do you?
it.
Okay.
I absolutely 100% think he was colluded against to not be a top pick.
Because of who his father is, or because
of his unwillingness to just be hat in hand tucked African American who's.
I'm not even gonna.
I feel like that's exactly it. And especially.
So then, what do you say about Cam Ward?
That's and for people, I think that's even further proves the point. Cam Ward, the same. Cam Ward doesn't wear jewelry. Cam Ward's not flashy. Why do you have to be a specific type of black person to be a top round pick?
No, but Cam Ward talks a lot of jazz.
On the field, that's kind of. That's not really.
But Cam Ward is a brash individual too, though. It's not like
I feel like he's not. I haven't really got. I feel like he's seen as a way more quote unquote clean cut individual. I don't think the same way it's Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel,
right.
Eli Manning. They're all allowed to act exactly like Shador was.
Well, I'll give you Baker and Johnny. I wouldn't say Eli, but
Eli Manning and Arch Manning walked into draft interviews and told the teams, "Don't draft us, take us, do it," and try and demand it because then when you're in that position, it's more of
leverage. They had leverage though.
Leverage of not needing them because he's not a poor player who's trying to get his whole family out the mud.
No, I think I'll be honest with you. I don't even buy into the whole stock about like it being a race thing. Truth be told, listen, if you show up in interviews, because it ain't like. Me personally, I don't even think Shador like put the world on fire in college. I really don't. Like his record at Colorado was what I think it was like 12 and 13.
He was better than most of the quarterbacks drafted before him.
The Dylan Gabriel pick was shocking. Tyler Shuck, also shocking. I don't know. Jackson Dart. I mean, dude, listen. The reality of the situation is drafting a quarterback. Like Cam Ward could be the biggest bust, right? We don't know, right? Drafting a quarterback is a crapshoot regardless of where you take them, right? The Browns, I mean, to me, the Browns are a whole mess in itself because I don't know why would you draft Dylan Gabriel and then go get Shador Sanders in the 5th round? Whatever, right? Whatever. But I don't know, dude. Like we've seen Cam Newton. Cam Newton went number 1 overall. We all know Cam Newton is not a clean-cut individual. Fair?
That's true.
Okay, right? Like
I think. At a certain point, I agree that your talent can be undeniable.
Yes.
But
should he have gone in the 5th round? No, probably not. But
yeah, I feel like that's pretty much all it boils down to. I feel like,
and don't waltz in here telling me, you know,
I think it's a race thing because if he was white, it would be allowed. That wouldn't be that wouldn't have been a reason for him to slide in the draft.
Could you bring up the Baker Mayfields and the Johnny Manziels? Like those two guys were Heisman Trophy winners, and like their talent was way above Shador's. I feel like. So who's comparable to you that you feel like got a break? Because I don't feel like Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel are comparable. Talent wise, I don't.
I don't think they were that far apart.
Johnny Manziel in college?
Yeah, they were like
first freshman to ever win the Heisman.
They were the individual talent that I see from Shador matches what they were doing. They were on
Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M.
Mike, they had Colorado. Like because the Colorado Buffaloes were nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
A&M and Oklahoma are vested schools with top 5 recruits all across the board.
I feel like you need to go back and watch Johnny Manziel's A&M tape.
I remember Johnny Manziel specifically.
Like he was the first freshman to ever win the Heisman.
He was exciting for sure.
Like watching Johnny Manziel, like that was like an era, bro. Like it wasn't. I'm sorry, I don't like. I look at Shador playing college versus Johnny Manziel. It's night and day to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like
Shador could not do everything Johnny Manziel did on the football field in college.
I've seen Shador do things, and I feel like it might get kind of overshadowed by Travis Hunter being the person catching the ball.
Yeah, it can be easy like that.
I don't think it makes it. It kind of just that what he's doing is also like that's the thing. It's not easy because he's throwing because Travis Hunter is the one catching it.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it does. Like the thing, like the amazing plays they're making. I feel like he didn't get his part of the credit for it.
Yeah, it's a two-way streak,
and that's why I feel like that's where a lot of his like, oh, is he able to do that? Kind of gets overlooked. I feel like what he did especially because I'm not even a big guy. Like we'll talk about it when we start talking about the Cowboys draft. I'm not even a big like O-line is because like one of the first debates I can remember us ever having actually was whether or not the Cincinnati Bengals should draft Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell.
Right.
And I was like, no, you draft the wide receiver 1,000%.
And I still to this day feel like they should have took Penei Sewell.
And so in that sense, I think, and as a guy like that, I think that his Shador Sanders O-line kind of limited him what he was able to do.
Yes.
And even with that, I think he still showed the ability.
I
can agree. I can definitely agree. He was not as good as Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel, but I just think that a lot of the times when I feel like there's less cases of a Cam Newton than there is a Baker Mayfield.
There are less cases of a Cam Newton than there. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I just look, man. You come in, you come in for a job interview, right? Look. You can talk that talk all you want, but when it's time to sit down and like do X's and O's with, hey, look, you want to be the number 2 overall pick, right, to the Giants, right? You're sitting in there with Brian Daboll. Have you seen the reports that came out?
I've seen some from like assistant coaches.
Basically, he was unprepared. Shador was in the sit down with Brian Daboll. Like, you know, they're trying to break down tape. Brian Daboll's trying to have him call out plays and whatnot and everything, break down film. He was unprepared. He had a cocky attitude about it. I believe at one point either Shador or Brian Daboll cut the meeting short because it was just going so bad, right? Like, dude. We've all heard the term fake it till you make it, right? Like in job interviews, you might have to fake it a little bit, right? You might have to just come in, sit down, yes sir, no sir, whatever. I'm here, let me break down the film, let me just show you that I'm capable of doing this, right? Like just put on a good front, right? You come in, because the reality situation is Shador Sanders thought he had leverage. Maybe his whole camp thought he had leverage. He didn't have leverage. Right? Yeah, the Giants needed a quarterback, and we'll see if they regret taking Abdul Carter Jr. that high over Shador or whoever, right? But, you know, somebody said it, Ephraim Salaam, I was listening to the Odd Couple the other week, and Ephraim Salaam literally said, like, the NFL, because he said, who was it? I think he said Peyton Manning, no, I can't remember. Somebody told him at his rookie symposium, right? He said, the NFL does not need you to play football. No matter who you are, right? The NFL does not need you. You need the NFL. The NFL does not need you, right? Which, okay, you tell a hot shot rookie coming into the league, like, oh, like, bro, what are you talking about? But, like, no, look, when you really think about it, like, the NFL is always the biggest thing, right? Like, the players, don't get me wrong, the players make the NFL what it is. But the players need the NFL, right? Like, way more than the NFL needs the players. Like, they'll find, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree with that. And I think the NFL's problem with Shador is he doesn't need the NFL. He needs the NFL to continue to play football. Yes. But he doesn't need to continue to play football.
Right. This is true. And that's fair. Right.
That's not common. And,
well, yeah.
And so I feel like that's kind of what it all boils down to.
Right.
And that's where his arrogance comes from.
Right.
That's where their problem with it all comes from.
Right.
So
Right. I mean, should he have gone to the 5th round? Probably not. But again, to me,
and I can see that his talent was better than 5th round, but his attitude is what got him there.
Yeah, I just look, man. Do you want to play football? Yes. Okay, then act like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we know who your father is. We know you got a trust fund. We know you're set for life. We don't care about that, man. You want to play football? Show us that you want to play football. Show us that you want to be the leader of the franchise that you kept talking about. Show us that you actually want to change the culture. You know what I'm saying? But when you come in, cocky attitude, not prepared, giving all this, back talk or whatever, man, you're shooting yourself in the foot, man. Look, should he have gone in the 5th round? No. I mean, Cleveland, I think Cleveland's a little bit of a dumpster fire right now with what they got going on. But
this isn't just something with him, but I think I hate it for him because
going to Cleveland
in general, that's where careers go to die.
Yeah. I will say, if Shador is really that guy, then somehow, some way, he will prove that he's that guy. He'll get on the field, right? Because they got 2 first-round picks next year. So there's all this talk about Arch Manning, who might not even come out. By the way,
I don't understand how that's just automatically a
whatever
name.
Right. There's all the talk of that, but if Shador can, figure it out, because Deshaun Watson, I don't think he'll play another down for the Browns. They got Kenny Pickett, they got Joe Flacco, they got Shador, and they got Dylan Gabriel, right? So obviously at this point, maybe you head into the season, training camp, Joe Flacco's the starter, and you're just trying to see whether it be between just Dylan Gabriel or Shador, because we've seen that Kenny Pickett show. Which one of those guys can really establish themselves and get some playing time, I mean, and the reality of the situation is, just because Shador got drafted in Cleveland doesn't mean he finished it in Cleveland, right? If he shows that he can, Joe Milton, y'all traded for Joe Milton. Granted, it's a bit weird because y'all got Dak and established starter, but nevertheless, right? If Shador shows
for a backup because Cooper Rush is gone,
right. But Joe Milton, his camp was he wanted to go to a place where he could start, and I'm like, well, you're not going to start in Dallas, right? But whatever. But I'm saying with Shador, right? If he shows flashes, if he shows that he can possibly be an NFL starter, then yeah, somebody's probably going to trade for you, because if Cleveland does what Cleveland does, and they have a high first round draft pick next year, sure, they're going to draft whichever quarterback's high up out there next year, whether it's Drew Aller, Arch Manning if he comes out, or whoever the case may be. So, we all got to see, man. This is just a part of Shador's story, and he get humbled a little bit. I hope, because this process can be humbling. And
I'm actually surprised with him staying on the board that long that Jerry did not draft him. my brother and my dad actually bet I don't know how much, 20. I might even be $100.
I didn't see that. I never saw that. I never saw him going there. I never saw Shador going to. There was some talk of him going to the Raiders, and I'm like, no, Pete Carroll doesn't operate like that. He just got his guy in Geno for the next 3 to 4 years.
Oh yeah, I thought that might have been a place before, but once they got Geno, I was
no, Pete Carroll doesn't operate like that. It was going to be either the Giants at 2 or the Saints at 9, and I told Sherman, my friend, the Saints fan, you know him. I told him, I was like, if he falls past y'all, it's probably a free fall, because the Saints, Derek Carr, he might not play this year.
Yeah.
Which, they drafted Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round, so we'll see. But yeah, Shador, man, look, you in the league now, man. You in the league now. What you gonna do with it?
Yeah, you got your chance.
Right. Now it's time to prove it. So, draft came and went, right? I kind of want to alternate. So I want you to do your first round, then I'll do my first, and then we'll just go back and forth until we finish the list. You cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Now before we get into this, I want to read.
I figured that's why you wanted to go first.
I want to read y'all the text that Lando sent me as soon as the Cowboys drafted Tyler Booker. I'm going to read y'all what this man sent me.
This is a real, raw, authentic reaction.
Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Quote, yet another complete miss by the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the draft. I don't want to hear anything about team needs or being a solid pick. Anything other than an offensive skill player is completely setting the team back. He could be the best lineman in the entire draft, and it won't matter if Dak has no one to give the ball to other than CeeDee Lamb, end quote. Go ahead.
While I can agree that the pick has grown on me since it's not like we can't change it. There's no point.
Right.
I've come to terms with it, but I still agree with that statement.
Okay.
I think that once, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but McMillan.
Yeah, Ted McMillan.
Ted McMillan, the wide receiver drafted by the Panthers at 8. Once he got drafted off the board, because it almost been confirmed that that's who we would have went with had he still been there.
Right.
Was off the board. I do agree that there weren't any receivers that were then capable that should have been drafted at 12. I just think they should have.
I think you could have made the argument for Matthew Golden, though. Speed demon.
I was actually, while I did want us to draft a wide receiver and would have been more okay with Golden than Booker.
You had somebody else in mind?
No, after McMillan, I thought that if I didn't think Golden was worth the 12th pick, I think they should have traded back. And they kind of let out that they weren't able to, but I think that there's a trade somewhere. I feel like that was they didn't really try too hard because it was almost. I mean, I feel like they should have been more prepared for McMillan to be off the board at 12.
Right.
And I think that once that happened, they kind of looked for trades, didn't see what they liked, and just kind of grabbed somebody.
Yeah.
And I think while we did lose Zach Martin this year, I think you had
a hole at guard.
I think Brock Huff.
That's the backup?
It's something like that. His exact name is.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about, though.
But I think like I said, I'm in the.
You're in the camp of
the frame of mind that
go get the wide receivers, go get the playmakers.
Go get the playmakers, and the guys that we have at linemen can hold up long enough. Are
you sure about that, though?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Depending on who the receivers are. If it's just CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert, no, they can't. No one can hold. I don't know who could hold up long enough.
Yes.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm just.
So your overall, like, analysis of him so far, like, your overall impressions of Tyler Booker, fast forward a week from the draft. Is it a week from the draft now? Yeah. Yeah. So
I just think that his contributions to the team won't mean anything. I think that Dak Prescott
even if he becomes an all-pro guard?
Yeah, that's why Dak Prescott can have 10 to 15 seconds to throw the ball to.
Yes.
To stand in the pocket.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb is going to have a hard time beating double coverage.
Right.
And Jalen Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks.
I saw they mentioned your boy Ryan Flournoy. They said he's looking good.
Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah,
five have all proven to not have the ability to get open.
Yeah.
So there's going to be nothing we can do offensively. We grabbed a few running backs. We
got Jaden Blue
from Texas. So I feel like our running game might be a little bit better than it was last year, but
yeah,
that's not.
I mean, y'all got a few.
We got a few old veterans who I don't really see making much.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Miles Sanders. I don't really see them making too much of an impact. But
Javonte Williams, maybe he can, because he was a good running back for Denver. But
like I said, it might be slightly better, but that's a crapshoot. So it might be slightly worse than it was last season. So
you're kind of just like. You would have preferred a skill position or trade back.
I would have preferred a trade back and then still chosen the skill position first. Yeah. But chosen a later drafted skill position.
Because Luther Burden, I'm surprised he fell to the Bears in the second round. Like I think it was the third round actually.
No, that was somebody who crazy. I would have been okay with us.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how he fell that far. But I mean, I hear you, right? Like different philosophies of how we build our teams. I hear what you're saying. You're asking me as an Eagles fan. I think it was a solid pick for the Cowboys. I think, me personally, if I really feel like wide receiver is a desperate need, I would take the reach and take Matthew Golden at 12. You can't coach speed, and he was really starting to come on. Towards the end of the season for UT, and he won the mid-20s to Green Bay. And like you said, man, because if you look at Carolina, right, like all the mock drafts had Carolina taking a defensive player, a linebacker, at 8, and they flipped the script entirely and said, no, we're going to give Bryce Young, which very smart on them. They're going to give your 5'11" quarterback a 6'5" target. I see what they're doing, right? Because they invested in the O-line heavy in the free agency last year, and it seemed like towards the end of the stretch, Bryce Young was starting to figure it out. The O-line was starting to figure it out. And he started to look really good. So, they are helping their young quarterback. And I understand Dak, he needs help. For me, like I said, man, you want to help quarterbacks? Yeah, get them guys that can go make plays on the outside, but get them some protection because it don't matter who you throwing the ball to if you ain't got no time, right? In my opinion.
But my thing is, like, if you just look at the Eagles, y'all have one first round O lineman on y'all's roster or on y'all starting lineup.
Right.
We now have 3.
We have Lane Johnson was the first, Cam was the second. Cam was a third. Landon was a second.
Mulata was
undrafted. Yeah. But I mean, truth be told, we have the best O-line coach in football, right?
If you look at the Super Bowl teams from the past 10 years, the most was the Seahawks in 2014, and they had 2.
A first-round O-lineman?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you got to spend early draft capital on O-lineman, whether that's the first, second, third, fourth round guy. Like, you got to spend early draft capital on O-lineman. To me, at least, that's my philosophy on it. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think Tyler Booker. Hopefully, he's a good. Well, we'll see if he's a good player for y'all. I think it's a good pick because I mean, again, I know Huff is his name. I can't remember his first name, but I know. I mean, regardless, you had a glaring hole at right guard, right?
But the hole was there. I think the hole at wide receiver 2 was bigger.
Yes, and
I think that's the biggest hole on the team.
Right. I understand.
Yeah.
No, only time will tell. We'll see. But getting into our first round draft pick, a few picks later, we selected Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama, and man, when I didn't think he was going to be there because I seen like the mock drafts heading into it, and everybody like they were starting to say like he's going to be there. I was like, there's no way. I don't think Jahad Campbell's going to be there. Right? I really didn't think he was, but he had a labrum injury, hurt his shoulder, had surgery on that, and he dropped a little bit, man, and he fell right into our laps. I love the pick. I love the pick because he offers a unique skill set to which he can play off-ball linebacker. He played off-ball linebacker mainly at Alabama, but the thing is, when you watch, or at least when I watched his tape, right? I was watching his All-22, and dude's a freak athlete, right? 6'3", 245, ran a 4.52 40, freak athlete. And, like, his straight line speed, his closing speed is insane. Like, he sees ball, he's there, right? Mm-hmm. I watch him play, and it's funny because it makes perfect sense. I watch him play, and I see a defensive end or an edge player trying to play off-ball linebacker because he was recruited as an edge player. So when I watch him in space, like, I'm seeing it like, okay, like, he's still trying to figure it out. Like, I see an edge player trying to play off-ball linebacker, right? I see it. Which, I mean, hey, he was able to do it at Alabama for a pretty high level, right? Even though he's still learning the position. A lot of people are saying, he's gonna, because Nakobe Dean, he tore his patella tendon, so he's gonna be out probably the start of this upcoming season. A lot of people are anticipating that Jahad is slotted into that next starter role opposite of Zach Bond. Not gonna lie though, I'm in the minority camp. I think Jahad Campbell will probably mess around and be one of our starting outside edge guys. Like I think we'll probably, me personally, and I could be totally wrong, I think his best football will probably be played on the edge. Like I said, a freak athlete. His straight line speed is insane.
Kind of reminds me of Micah.
Right, a little bit, right? Like, I mean, listen, worst comes to worst, he's a guy that can play a little bit of both, right? Maybe he doesn't become a full-time starter, but he's a guy that can play a little bit of both. Then I have wanted versatile chess pieces on defense for years. I wanted us to get Kyle Hamilton. We didn't do that with Jordan Davis. It worked out, right? At the time, though, I was mad at that pick. But I had wanted us to get versatile chess pieces guys that can move around all around the front seven, right? You can do that with Zach Bond. You can do that with Jahad Campbell. N'Kobe, not so much. But guys that you can move around different positions, right? So you can give the offense different looks so they don't know what to anticipate. I've wanted that. I'm glad we got that. Yeah, man, I love the Jahad Campbell pick. So moving on down the later rounds. Who did y'all take? Did y'all have a second round draft pick?
Yes.
Who did y'all took?
It's a D end.
Oh, Donovan. Yes. I liked him. I liked him a lot.
Donovan Ezeraku.
I liked him a lot.
Ezeraku, yeah.
Had
Boston
16,
College.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had 16 and a half sacks his last season.
Yeah, like so. Coming out of Boston College, so we're right now with Micah Parsons. We lost DeMarcus Lawrence. Side piece. DeMarcus Lawrence was one of my favorite players. Yeah. I have a very strong affinity toward. Affinity is good. I don't want to say that. I have a very strong disdain for players who leave and
talk that jazz.
Yes.
Okay. And so you're not a fan of DeMarcus Lawrence right now, then I'm assuming.
Especially when it doesn't even make sense. To say you had to leave Dallas because you had no chance of winning a Super Bowl while going to play for the 2025 Seattle Seahawks makes no sense. You just wanted to take a dig at us. Why, even if it is true, or it was true for your tenure there in your career, just shut up. Go to Seattle and just play it for them.
Yeah.
So I have a very that definitely rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
So with losing to Marcus Lawrence, we also have Sam Williams coming back from an ACL tear last year, who was a second round draft pick, I think in 2023 or 2022. It might have been a little earlier. He just missed all the last season. Basically, he tore his ACL before the season even started.
Right.
So he'll be coming into that defensive end room, and we're hoping we can get him integrated in that. In college, he had 62.
I think he might mess around and start opposite of Micah, man.
I can definitely see that. Although I will say, we also got Dante Fowler back.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, that should be a pretty competitive room for that number 2 spot.
Right.
Because like I said, Sam Williams. We called him Baby Micah because not only does he actually look like Micah's, like facially, I mean, you can pull up. They genuinely look alike.
Okay.
But he also he plays like he is a little less disciplined, and it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
He can be, but as a DN, that can be a good thing and a bad thing. Being all over the place, he's more kind of like a Tasmanian devil when he gets out on the field. So there's definitely a chance there. But I think that Ezeraku can start. He had 62 quarterback pressures rushing from the edge last season.
Right.
Like for reference, Penn State, Abdul Carter, who was the second coming of Micah, they got there. He only had 54 that season. So I mean, he definitely has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't mad at that pick at all, especially with losing DeMarcus Lawrence. I was okay with that hole being filled. Yeah. Just because it's after the second round. I mean, after they passed on the skill position, there was also it kind of was. They made it evident that it wasn't the direction they were going towards.
Yeah.
So I kind of started being more okay with the pick. So I was more happy about this pick than I was Tyler Booker.
Okay. Moving on for us, round 2 pick. I forgot exactly what pick he was. Number 64. We drafted Andrew Makuba, safety out of Texas. I love Jahad Campbell, but I love Andrew Makuba.
I hated that pick for y'all because it's a good pick.
It's a great man. Listen. Dude is a baller, all right, and he's literally built just like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's kind of crazy, but he hits like a linebacker. He is literally always around the ball. He's a great tackler in space. Great eye discipline. He doesn't get fooled by the fakes and the backfield trickery and all that. He is a downhill safety, but he's not just a box safety. Like I'm telling you, like I was watching. I think they were playing Clemson, and he tricked Cade Klubnik. It looked like it was a cover 2, or at least a cover 2, like a fake cover 2. And he's in the middle of the field, and he's just sitting there, and Cade's about to throw a deep post, and like. He kind of did. Have you seen that Ed replay?
Yeah, where he fakes Peyton Manning
it looked
out?
like, I swear, it looked just like that. Because next thing you know, Cade throws it. Andrew Makuba is right there. Boom. Takes that thing, man. Picks it up. I love this pick. He has a chance to start right away. Because all the talk is about us bringing in Justin Simmons and everything because of his familiarity with Vic Fangio and all that. And I'd be cool with it. But honestly, like, Justin Simmons isn't getting any younger. Safeties, they tend to lose speed as they get older. So, me personally, I love this pick. I think Vic is going to be licking his chops to get him in training camp and just deploy him all over the field. He can play in the slot. And I think he will really give Sidney Brown, Lewis Cine, I think he will truly give them a run for their money, man. I can't wait to see him step onto the field.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, watched him pretty closely at Texas.
Yep.
Being here from Austin, and
right.
So I know what he's capable of doing on the field. I know that was a great pick. That's how I know it's a good pick when the rival team is like, dang, I wish they wouldn't have got him.
No, it was a great pick. Shout out to Howie.
So then moving on to the third round, our next pick at 76, Siobhan Ravel, or I don't know if it's Revel or Ravel Jr.
Siobhan, I think it's Ravel.
Ravel. So I mean,
he was almost a first round draft pick.
I was about to say, a lot of people were saying he would have definitely been a first round draft pick had he not tore his ACL.
Right.
And the Cowboys team surgeon was actually the one who performed his ACL surgery.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, pretty sure the Cowboys have gotten a kind of an inside look.
Right,
man, I don't know if that's even allowed. But
yeah.
But so maybe they got an inside look. And with losing Jordan Lewis, which I'm very sick about that from a player standpoint, but very happy for him because, like, I've never been opposed to other players leaving the team. Like especially when it comes to getting that back. Tony Pollard going to the Titans, happy for you. Jordan Lewis going to the Jaguars, happy for you.
Right.
And especially when you leave, you either don't have much to say or have good things to say about the organization. Like,
right.
No, we don't. Obviously, if things don't work out, then things don't work out. But just move on. Enjoy the next chapter of your career. I feel like that's what Jordan Lewis has been doing.
Yeah.
So I wish him nothing but the best. And I think that losing him, drafting Ravel Jr. is definitely going to be a solid pick. He was at East Carolina, which, I mean, obviously isn't one of the biggest name schools. It's not like, but I feel like.
Does that matter to you? Like, is that a big thing for you?
I was about to say normally. I feel like with positions like O-line or trenches, but like more. But like I feel like with corner, like if you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
Like you're guarding receivers like all throughout the. Like I feel like that's less of a problem.
Right.
With like skill players like that.
Hey man, we got Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I think ballers can ball, man, regardless of what school you go to.
What's his name?
What team?
Tariq Woolen was from UTSA.
I was thinking about him too. Yeah, right. Like, ballers can ball, man.
For sure. So it definitely would have been not really harping on the fact that he was just at East Carolina, but I feel like he definitely has a chance to come in and there's a spot open.
Right.
Not even with just losing Jordan Lewis, Trayvon Diggs coming back from his ACL injury. So I think they said he might be back around training camp. Jerry said something about because he tore his ACL pretty early last season.
Right.
So I mean, he definitely has the opportunity to step up and see what he can do.
Right. I don't think we had another pick in the second round. No. All right. Our next pick, all the way in the fourth round, pick 11, Ty Robinson, D lineman out of Nebraska. We lost Milton Williams in free agency. This is our Milton Williams replacement.
Okay.
Dude is 6'5", 300, ran a 4.8 40. I mean, it's crazy. He's our Milton Williams replacement, but he's built like Jordan Davis. Very stout run defender. He has good hands. Very stout run defender, good hands. He has a pretty decent pass rush bag currently. He can play all the positions across the D line: 3 technique, 2 technique, 5 technique. He can play out on the edge. He can play in space. Ty Robinson is a freak of nature, and he's like I said, he's literally built like Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is 6'6", like 330. Ty Robinson is 6'5", 200 or 300. Excuse me. At Nebraska, he played all over the line for them. He made plays. He's a very stout run defender. He's very intelligent. He's very good at reading offensive linemen. In terms of pulling gaps, feet, zone reads, all that stuff. I love the pick though, man. I truly think Ty Robinson can develop. He can be our next Milton Williams. And we just add to that rotating D line that we got. We just replenish that. And shout out to Howie on another good pick, man. I love the Ty Robinson pick.
Did y'all have another 4th round pick?
I think we took Ty, and then we had,
because we traded ours. For
no,
Jonathan Mingo.
that was the only 4th round draft pick.
So yeah, we traded ours for Jonathan Mingo.
Right.
So we essentially our 4th round pick was Jonathan Mingo. So we'll see how he does. But
right.
And then our next pick was our 5th round pick with the 149th pick. We picked Jaden Blue, running back from Texas.
Yes.
Who was definitely a solid back. He's very fast. He was playing behind Bijan and Jonathan Brooks.
Right.
But last season he had 730, in 2024 he had 730 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. He's a very good receiving back. He had 368 yards, 42 passes, and 6 receiving touchdowns.
Okay.
So he's definitely a dual threat. And with our running back room right now, he has nothing but opportunity to come in and win that starting spot.
Right.
I mean, we have Rico Dowdle coming back. We have
no. He went to the Panthers.
Oh, I'm tripping.
I'm about to say Rico Dowdle went to the Panthers
because I was thinking Malik Davis. We just cut Malik Davis.
Okay.
And so right now our running back room was Deuce Vaughn, Miles Sanders,
Javonte
Williams, and Jaden Blue. I think we might have signed somebody else, but yeah. So I mean, it's nothing but the chance to come in and take that starting spot.
Yeah. Okay, love that for y'all. Our next pick in the 5th round, I believe it was 145. Yep, 145. Mac McWilliams, corner out of Central Florida. Smaller guy. I think he's about 5'9", 5'10". He could play outside and inside. He's very patient as a corner. Like, he doesn't get too hurried or too caught up in whatever the receiver's doing. Like, he's very patient. He's very steady in his technique from what I saw. I like his speed. He has good reaction time and he has good catch-up speed. He'll probably be more of a special teams guy, although, we definitely need some depth behind Coop at the slot position because we lost Avonte Williams. He went to Detroit, or Avonte Maddox, excuse me. He signed with Detroit. So, man, Mac McWilliams, super excited to get him in the defensive room. Like I say, he's probably going to be a special teamer, but it's okay. We always need depth guys and guys that can play multiple spots in the secondary. Like I say, he played a little bit outside, played inside, and he seemed to be capable of doing both, even though, like I say, he's 5'9", 5'10". But you never lack depth in secondary, right? Like, there's no such thing as too much depth in the secondary, so I'm not complaining about it.
I agree with that. So then moving on to our next 5th round pick, the 3 picks later, we traded up to draft Shamar James, linebacker from Florida.
Right.
And so we gave up a 5th and a 6th round pick. And, I mean, it's almost that same kind of philosophy. You can never really have too much depth at linebacker.
Yeah.
And right now we signed Jack Sanborn this offseason.
Oh, did y'all?
Yeah.
From Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a solid depth piece. And then we had drafted Maris Leofau last season.
Yeah.
Damone Clark is still there. And then Demarion Overshawn, everybody
rehabbing.
Yeah, he'll be rehabbing. Everybody loved him, obviously. But with him coming back from injury, where they obviously see something in Shamar James, and I'm hearing that he's like the perfect type of linebacker that Matt Eberflus likes, our new defensive coordinator.
How would you describe his style of play?
He gets sideline to sideline really fast.
Okay.
So I didn't mean to know. He gets all over the field. I mean, he had 166 tackles last year, and so. Or, hold on, is that last season? I just know that, and so I saw his tape, and I remember specifically there was a game. Who were they playing? It wasn't last season because I remember Princely, I can't say, I've never been able to say his last name. He was still on their team,
right?
But the plays I was seeing him make, he was definitely he was getting downhill fast.
Yeah.
Once he saw the ball, his the way he was able to plant his feet and get to the ball fast was definitely something I liked.
Yeah.
So as a depth piece, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing because, like you said, that you can never have, like I said, based off what you said, you can never have too much depth at linebacker.
Right.
So it's definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Okay. Solid. Do we have a? Yes. Okay. A few picks later, we took Smile Munden Jr., linebacker from Georgia, 5th round, 161st pick. He ran a 4.58 40. He scored first in the athleticism category for all linebackers at the draft combine. So obviously dude's a freaking nature. Very good blitzer from what I saw on tape. Always ran the ball. Good closing speed as well. He seems to be pretty good in coverage. He's Georgia. Georgia just has a knack for developing good linebackers, man. Roquan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Jalen Walker, Smile Munden. They just have a knack for developing good off-ball linebackers, right? Kirby Smart and his crew down there in Athens, man. So Smile Munden, honestly, like I said with Jahad Campbell earlier, in my mind right now, what I see Jahad Campbell more so out on the edge, and I see Smile possibly getting his way into the inside linebackers. Yeah, man. Like I said, regardless of he's probably going to start on special teams, right? Being a 5th rounder or whatever, but you never know. When opportunity comes knocking, but he'll probably start off as a special teamer. I think he can definitely work his way into the defensive rotation, and just another athletic Georgia Bulldog in the house at Philly, right? Might as well call us the Philly Bulldogs at this point. Definitely like to see what he's capable of doing down the road, and like I said, like we've been saying, you can never have too much depth at the linebacker spot. You can never have too much depth at any position in football. Let's just be honest. So, yeah, man, very very happy with that pick, Smile Munden Jr. Love it.
All right, so moving on to our 6th round pick, we got a Johnny Cornelius. He played pretty much all his time at right tackle in college.
Okay.
He was at Rhode Island first and then transferred to Oregon.
Yeah.
And we saw what Oregon did this season. Obviously, they fell short, but throughout the majority of the season,
they steamrolled guys.
Literally steamrolling everybody. And they also say that he has the ability to play guard, so he can kind of switch around if he needs to.
Versatility on the O-line is key,
which is definitely something that we have plenty of experience with. Our entire O-line right now is. The only person who's kind of just like
playing
stuck
in their position
is Terrence Steele. Tyler Smith has kind of can move all over the place. Tyler Guyton, I think he was a right tackle in college.
He was a right tackle. Yeah.
Then obviously the Brock Hoffman, and that's the thing. That's his name, Brock Hoffman. He's been all over the place, so he fits right into what the Cowboys are looking to do.
Right.
Obviously, I think he might. Being that kind of late of a pick, they're thinking he might need some work. So we'll see, but definitely a depth piece, which is kind of where our O-line is right now. He fits right in there.
Right. Okay. Staying in the 5th round for us. A few picks later after Smile, at pick 158 in the 5th round, we took Drew Kendall, center/guard from Boston College. Ran a 5 flat as in the 40. Good athletic traits from what I saw. He's a fast puller. He can play guard and center, like I said. Versatility at the O-line spot is really good. And I really, honestly, I wrote under all our O-line picks. I literally just put like potential next gem under Jeff Stoutland. His dad, Drew Kendall's dad, was a 1st round O-lineman for the Seahawks in the 90s. And man, for me personally, I'm thinking, that right guard spot is kind of open for us right now. We traded for Kenyon Green from Texas. We re-signed Matt Pryor. We brought him back after a few years away from the team. We still got Tyler Steen, but, that guard spot could possibly be open, man. So if Drew Kendall can come in, hey, we took Jason Kelce in the 6th round, man. Jeff Stoutland, man, he sees traits, he sees guys and says, you know what, I can do something with him. So that's what I'm thinking, man. This is another project for Stout, and I look forward to seeing what he can do down the road.
Definitely, y'all found nothing but gems throughout the entire draft at O-line. So it's definitely some credibility to that.
Yes.
So, and moving on to the 7th round for us with the 217th pick, we picked Jay Toya. He's a defensive tackle from UCLA.
Yeah, okay.
He is 325 pounds, 6'3". They're hoping he can be more of a run stopper. even that was kind of his role in college. He only had, I think, like 19 pressures, 3 sacks.
Yeah.
But obviously, if we're looking to pair him, kind of be somebody like we're hoping we're still giving Mozzie the chance to kind of develop into. We're kind of hoping that somebody can fill that role. That big guy right in the middle, filling up, occupying space, taking up blockers.
Right.
So obviously he's shown the ability to do that. So hoping he can step in. Our defensive line. I mean, we signed Oso Digizua, which I was very happy about. And at this point, we're waiting for Mozzie to step up. So if he still hasn't shown the ability to do that, this will give Jay the opportunity to kind of see what he can do.
Right. So for us, now we're in the 6th round, pick 181. We took Philly's very own Kyle McCord, quarterback Syracuse. Full disclosure, y'all know I'm a Michigan fan. Kyle McCord was the quarterback at Ohio State, but I'll give him a pass because he transferred to Syracuse. He led the FBS in passing yards this past season. From what I saw on film, he was a quick decision maker, throws with anticipation, and honestly, man, just a good potential QB3 for us. We traded for Dorian Robinson from Cleveland earlier. We'll see. We still have Tanner McKee. I'm still a Tanner McKee guy, man. All right, I truly believe Tanner McKee should be QB2 in Philly until proven otherwise. Kyle McCord, not a great athlete, but like I said, quick decision maker, throws with anticipation. Look forward to seeing what he could do in preseason. I'm sure he'll get some work. And man, just adding to that quarterback room, man.
All right. So
was that your last pick for the Cowboys?
No, we have a couple more.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 2 more. So we have 2 more 7th round picks. Our next one, pick 239, Phil Maffa, running back from Clemson.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and so with Jaden
he was
Blue,
nice at Clemson too.
Yeah, definitely. Jaden Blue was a really fast running back. Phil Maffa was more of a ground and pound, just like bruiser, physical running back.
Yeah.
In his last year at Clemson, he had 1,115 yards, 8 touchdowns. And, but like I mentioned earlier, it's a pretty crowded running back room right now. And, the Cowboys...
It's crowded, but, y'all don't have a number one guy.
Oh, yeah. Nobody...
Right? So, it's open.
It's crowded, but open, for sure. And,
right.
Because, I think we have 5 running backs right now. And, obviously, if I had to... And we usually carry around 4 through the 53-man roster. I think if I had to pick one out of Phil Maffa, Jaden Blue, Deuce Vaughn, Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, probably say Miles who's the most likely to get cut, just because if they're going to keep 4, I feel like they'll probably keep the guys they just use draft capital on.
Yeah, no, those guys got 4-year contracts. We're going to see what they can do, right?
So, I feel like at this point, Javonte Williams will probably have more in the tank than Miles Sanders would. So, looking like that, I'm guessing if I had to predict what our running back room was, that's what it would be.
Right.
Now, in terms of who steps up into that starting role, like we said, it's open. That job's open for anybody.
Right.
I have a hard time believing that it'll be Deuce, just given his size and stature. But
no disrespect to Deuce.
Right.
All right, Deuce, we love you, man. Shout out to you making it to the league. It's not gonna be Deuce.
He's shown the ability to be serviceable.
Yes.
I think we can get a lot more packages in with him in it. But
yes.
In terms of starting, it's most likely gonna be one of those 3.
Right.
Probably, if I had to guess who starts, because it's hard because 2 of the potentials are rookies, and we don't know what Javonte Williams has, so we can just move on. Right. I don't know who it's gonna be.
Okay. So we had three more picks in the 6th round. Now I put 2 of them together only because they're both tackles. We took Miles Hinton. We took him, tackle from Michigan. My Michigan man, pick 191. We also took another tackle at 207, Cameron Williams out of UT. For me, man, both honestly, I think Cameron Williams is a bit of a better athlete than Miles Hinton. Mm-hmm. Miles Hinton, he's 6'7", 323, but he's like a stout 6'7". Cam is. I can see the athletic traits in Cam. Miles Hinton, he was good though. He was a starter at left tackle for us we won the national championship 2 years ago. look, man, like I said, every O-lineman we draft, man, I really think Jeff Stoutland sees something in these guys innately, and he feels like he can, build something out of them. And also keep in mind, Lane Johnson, he's closer to retirement than we think. And, if we can find his replacement, his successor in the 6th round, and if Jeff Stoutland can have a season or two to really develop these guys, then, yeah, we got our next right tackle of the franchise for the next decade, right? So I'm here for it. I'm fine with it. Was that y'all's last pick?
We got one more pick.
Okay, go ahead.
And before I say it, speaking of Lane Johnson's retirement, I want to give a shout out to, I already mentioned Zach Martin, losing him. That was to retirement.
Yes.
And also Tyron Smith.
Oh, yes, retired as a Cowboy.
Yeah, signed a 1-day contract to retire as a Cowboy,
yes.
which I feel like should have happened. He should have never played for the Jets, but I'm never going to be mad at a player going to get an extra contract, going to get an extra couple $1 million to support their family, because obviously once they're done, that they're, especially given Tyron, I don't know if you know, but he actually went through a lot of personal issues with his family regarding a lot of financial issues. Never going to be mad at that. He's got people to take care of. So definitely big shout out to him. 2 of the best O-linemen in Cowboys history. And I feel like although they never played for winning teams, obviously, in terms of Super Bowl or like high playoff success,
Hall of Famers for sure.
I think they'll both definitely should deserve to be Hall of Famers. I mean, Zach Martin had more. He gave up less. He had more Pro Bowl selections and sacks given up. So I think, just want to give both of those guys a shout out before naming this last pick, which was with the 7th pick, or the 7th round, 247th pick, we drafted Tommy Akingbessote.
Okay.
D tackle from Maryland.
D tackle, okay.
Another guy that kind of supports with Brian Schottenheimer, who's been on record saying our new head coach has been on record saying that he feels that the game is won in the trenches.
Yes.
So we obviously used the 1st round pick on an O lineman, drafted 3 D tackles, drafted another right tackle a little bit later. So that kind of supports that. He's definitely trying to build through the trenches right now.
Yep.
And Tommy is 6'4", 320. So he's right around the same size. Mozzie, right around the same size as I forgot his name already. Jay. Not Jay Ajay. Jay Toya.
Jay Toya,
yeah. So they're all around the same guys. They want some guys in there that can occupy space.
Right.
Watch his film. He actually has really good hands down to be in the trenches. He once he gets his hands engaged, he's really good at, kind of moving the O-lineman out of the way. Yeah. So I feel like he's definitely, I wouldn't say a steal. I mean, he's a 7th round pick, but he's got a lot of talent. So he has the potential to be a steal. Yeah. One of the last picks.
And that finishes our Cowboys draft. That was Cowboys draft.
Finishes our 2025 draft.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and round out Phillies. In the 6th round, pick 209. We finished out the draft by selecting Antoine Powell-Ryland, edge from Virginia Tech. Ran a 4.69 40. He had 16 sacks last season, 20 tackles for loss. From what I've seen on film, he has a good blend of speed and power, quick first step, solid closing speed. What he lacks in, I wrote this down, what he lacks in athleticism, he makes for in his deep bag of pass rush moves. He has a very deep bag. His spin move is insane. I saw him, I forgot who they were playing. I think it was Miami. Man, he gave that tackle to work. It was crazy. I put he could be another Josh Sweat for us down the road. We lost Josh Sweat to free agency. Went to Arizona, go get your bag. Nothing but respect to Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat was a 4th round draft pick, injury prone guy at Florida State. Everybody, he was a top recruit out of high school, but went to Florida State, battled injuries, fell to the 4th round, fell to us. And he kind of he had those athletic traits, but he had to develop a few years. And while Antoine, I mean, he has 4.69 speed, so he has athletic traits. I don't watch him and see Josh Sweat, but I do think he could be a very productive player for us. I mean, look, man, dude had 16 sacks last year for Virginia Tech, and man, we just, like I said, we just keep adding to the rotation of D linemen we got, edge guys we got, linebackers we got. For me, for Howie Roseman, it was very evident for him. Obviously, because for the free agency, we lost a lot of key guys on defense. So for Howie, it clearly very evident we're going to reload on defense, which we did. My overall draft grade for this class, I'm not going to lie, I give it an A because we addressed holes and we got guys that can not only be serviceable starters, but could possibly be Pro Bowlers down the road if given the right development and coaching and training. Yeah, man, and I really do love this draft. I look forward to seeing what Jahai Campbell could do, Andrew Makuba, even all the way down to, Antoine Powell-Riley, man. I like the guys we got, and I look forward to seeing what this class does.
Definitely. If you had to give the Philadelphia Eagles an overall grade for the draft, what would it be?
It would be an A, man.
Okay.
It would be an A. How would you grade the Cowboys draft?
I know that first message might have seemed a little dramatic, but after, I think that had the draft in itself wasn't bad. I'd say like a B minus.
Okay.
But the refusal to do anything in free agency is what kind of makes it look worse than what it might actually be.
Right.
And I feel like, say, had we went and got one of those available receivers, Stephon Diggs, who else was available? Amari Cooper's still available.
Amari Cooper's still available. Keenan Allen's still
available. Who are some guys that actually DK Metcalf's on a different team?
DK Metcalf got traded.
There were
Christian Kirk got traded.
Had we got one of those guys and then had this draft, I might be saying A plus.
Right.
With that big of a hole filled already going into the draft, and all these other smaller holes being filled would have been amazing.
Right.
But we didn't do that, so in the draft of itself, I'd just still say like a B minus. So it wasn't a terrible draft.
Bad, yeah.
We definitely filled some smaller holes we had, but there's still a big giant hole we're going to be facing.
Wide receiver 2. Yeah, right. No, I get it. What would you say? What is your favorite draft pick? Like, who are you most forward to seeing play and develop?
Honestly, Jaden Blue. I think that, especially like I've said a couple times, the opportunity will be there. The opportunity will be there for a lot of guys, but that running back room is one of the most undetermined, up in the air, who's going to start for us.
Right.
And running back is one of the most important positions on the field. So I feel like he'll definitely have that opportunity, and if we're able to get that production out of him with a third-round pick, that'll be great. And I'm really hoping he can, kind of show that speed here in the NFL.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, it's got to be Andrew Makuba, man. I love him, man. I love him already. You know what I'm saying? He's a football guy. He's a baller. He's like I said, he's built like CJ. He hits like a linebacker. And I still hold hope for Sidney Brown. I still think Sidney Brown could be a good starter for us long term. But I definitely think Andrew Makuba is going to push somebody. And Reed Blankenship. I love Reed. I'm done questioning Reed Blankenship. That dude is a ball hawk for us. But we got an open safety spot opposite of him, and I really think Andrew Makuba can challenge somebody for it, man. I definitely think he's gonna get on the playing field regardless. And he can play slot too, man. So when we have Coop, we have Quinyon, we have Sidney, we have Reed, we have Andrew. We got a lot of different things and a lot of different looks we can give offenses, man. So I look forward to seeing Andrew Makuba develop under Vic Fangio. I look forward to seeing how Vic Fangio is going to deploy him. And, man, it's going to be a fun ride watching him, man. Because, man, last time we drafted a Clemson safety pretty high. Well, granted, he finished off at UT, but last time we drafted a Clemson safety high, man, it was Brian Dawkins. So, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
man. Wonder how that went.
Right. So, yeah, I know Andrew Makuba, UT guy, but nah, man. Very excited to watch him play, grow, and develop, and can't wait to see him on the field.
Definitely, man. I hate to see him in the Eagles uniform, but I can't.
He wants another ring, man. Let's go.
Can't hurt. It hurts to say I can definitely see his career becoming everything you think he's going to be.
Yes.
I watched a lot of Texas football, specifically their defense.
Yes.
And he was, like you said, always near the ball.
All over the field, dude.
Flying. So, it's definitely a great pick for y'all.
Yes, sir.
Before we head out of here, I definitely want to give a couple more shout-outs to some of the hometown guys for getting drafted.
Go ahead.
Jade Barron out of Conley High School.
20th overall to the Denver
Broncos.
Yes, sir.
There was Princely Umami. It's like Umami, and I can never say his last name. He's gonna be mad at me for that.
Carolina Panthers
out of Ole Miss, started at Florida. Taj Brooks out of Manor High School.
Yes,
him and Princely both out of Manor High School.
Where did Taj go? Taj went to
Drafted by the Bengals, and then Cedar Ridge's own, my alma mater, Marcus Bryant.
Yes, he went to New England.
Yeah, drafted to the Patriots. So had a few guys from locally around here get drafted. So that's always awesome to see. Definitely want to give a big shout out to those guys.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all you guys that got drafted, man. Not only Austin guys, but everybody, man. I know it's a dream come true for a lot of you guys. So congrats, and hey, man, make the most of it.
Facts.
Make the most of it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for this draft class recap episode for Birds of the Rodeo. I'm Eric, your resident Eagles fan.
I'm Orlando, the resident Cowboys fan.
And we will be back on a consistent basis sooner rather than later. So be on the lookout. Stay tuned on TikTok. Stay tuned on YouTube, Instagram, all that. We will be back on a consistent basis sooner rather than later.
Man, yes. I'm excited for football to be back.
Yes,
coming back.
You and me both, my friend.
It's that time of year. That after the draft, it's not too long, and you got mini camps and OTAs and stuff like that. So it's picking up.
It's hopeful right now for all for fans of all 32 teams. It's hopeful season right now.
More hopeful for some teams than others.
I'm sure I feel way better about my team than say the Cleveland Browns, but hope nevertheless. You never know.
They got Shador. They got it.
Like I said, we'll catch y'all soon.
We'll be back.
We'll be back soon, man. Stay tuned. Stay on the lookout. Like, comment, subscribe. All that. You know the drill.
Hit that notification bell so y'all know when we post.
Yes.
Like it up.
Yep. Well, on that note, folks, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Later.
Jamal with a stroke of genius.